Okay, we are here, pritwin.gg. So this is the website I'm kind of have doubts about now since the Luocha build is kind of awkward and it doesn't really show what is expected to be. So really weird website here with untested builds and pretty much how do I call it, untested builds since day one of release. So okay, let's start with all the deception here. Looking at Luocha's best planetary sets, we have Broken Keel, Fleet of the Ageless, Space Healing Station, Sprightly Von Wack. Okay, why is Sprightly Von Wack here? Why? It's so selfish. And the fact is that if you have his signature light cone, it feels like you don't need Sprightly at all. You don't need Sprightly Von Wack at all when you have a signature light cone, because his signature light cone gives energy regen, 3% energy regen. So if Sprightly Von Wack is giving 5% energy, what's the point? I mean, you might as well get a S5 light cone. Why is this even here? And you're never going to use the second part of the planner set, so what is the point of this? Okay, let's see. Luocha's best relic sets. Okay, I already see some problems here. Passerby Wandering Cloud increases outgoing healing boost by 10%. Why is this even here? I have no idea. And pretty much Messenger Traversing Hackerspace. Why does he need to increase speed and increase outgoing healing boost? Why? I already told you so many times that outgoing healing boost is such a unneeded start in the game, because at 1.9k attack, at level 2 skill, level 3 talent, he doesn't need the outgoing healing boost at all, especially if you have the light cone, the signature light cones, and even shared feeling. You don't need this at all, right? Messenger Traversing Hackerspace, it increases speed by 6%. Why are you not using a 4-piece Musketeer of Huawei instead, where you can increase attack by this X amount of percent? Why? I don't understand. What's going on here? Okay, yeah, I can agree that Musketeer of Huawei is here, but the thing is that attack increases by 12%, so the fact is that if you have a 4-piece here, this pretty much defeats the purpose of having a Messenger Traversing Hackerspace and a Passerby Wandering Cloud. So why is this rated as number 1 and Musketeer of Huawei as number 2? And they definitely did not test the Eagle of Twilight line. Why is Eagle of Twilight line not here? And why do you need outgoing healing when you have an attack increase? It's overkill. It's way overkill. Okay, so this is the biggest felony and the felony of all of this. Luocha's best start, body outgoing healing boost. 1 start only. Why? Why is outgoing healing boost here? Did they not test defense percentage? And why Planisphere is attack? I don't understand. Why is this attack when Luocha is already having more than 3k attack on a full set without attack percentage on his stats? Why? This doesn't make sense. And the thing is that his outgoing healing boost is already so strong at 1.9k attack and 0% outgoing healing boost. You don't need to have an attack percentage here. Speed, yes, I can agree. Energy regen rope only at S2. Echoes of the Coffin, but you don't need to state that energy regen rate here as only one possibility. You can have just put attack percentage for S1, because you're not going to hit the specific breakpoints in the game. So energy regen rope here is really good only if you have S2, Echoes of the Coffin, but at S1 you're best to just run an attack percentage rope. For the sphere wise, you're going to run defense percentage or HP percentage, depending on what you have. And this thing is this starts effect rest until 30% is more than speed. But why? Why is speed and lower than effect rest? Why? I don't understand. It's so stupid. It's attack percentage like lower than speed, and why is break effect higher than HP and defense percentage? What the shit is this? The fuck is this? Oh, Luocha, I already told you he needs to survive. If Luocha cannot survive, then you no point putting him on the field. You might as well not even pull for Luocha if he cannot survive. So why is HP percentage and defense percentage in the lowest priority? Which is, and break effect is higher than HP percentage and defense percentage. What the fuck is this shit? I don't understand this. And guess what? A speed, right, is higher priority than a break effect. This is the funniest part of all this. I don't understand why is Pretwin doing this. Okay, Luocha best light cone. Yep, totally agree. Echoes of the coffin. Multiplication higher than post-op conversation. What the fuck is this? And guess what? Guess what? You can already advance forward via Eagle of Twilight Line. Why do you use a light cone for the advance forward? It doesn't make sense. And multiplication is a 3-star light cone. Why are you using a 3-star light cone for higher than a 5-star light cone and a 4-star light cone? This doesn't make sense. And what he says is that advance forward is a very strong mechanic that translates into more actions taken over the course of the battle, especially when the healers want to use the basic most of the time. If you want to do that, then you use an Eagle of Twilight Line, because Luocha doesn't need the attack percentage. He doesn't need the outgoing healing boost. You can just use Eagle of Twilight Line. It doesn't make sense here. And the funniest part is that the time waits for no one is lower than post-op conversation. By right, time waits for no one should be higher than post-op. Post-op, you should save this for Natasha. And normally people will have S3 or S4 on the Natasha. So the thing is that if you're going to use post-op conversation for Natasha, then there's no way you're going to use post-op conversation for Luocha. So this doesn't make sense that time waits for no one is lower than post-op conversation. This is so stupid. And perfect timing, I feel that is actually better than post-op conversation, because then again, Luocha doesn't really need the energy regen from just a light cone, and the outgoing healing boost from his ultimate does not count from post-op conversation because he doesn't heal from an ultimate. So stupid. And then the Luocha trace priority, we have a talent, skill, ultimate, and basic. Okay, I can agree with this. Yep, this one I totally agree. A major trace priority, we have a cleansing, revival, sanctify, and through the valley. But actually, this can be interchanged between sanctified and cleansing revivals. That means sanctified first, then cleansing revival. Because sanctified gives you the bonus from a field activation. So this doesn't make sense. But then it's also up to you. Because if you want to use your skill more often to heal and to remove debuff, then this is the way to go. However, if you want to maximize your field healing, then sanctified will come first. But then this one is really subjective. Build comments. Since Luocha heals scale of his attack, you want to invest melee in that start. Still giving him some HP percentage is advised, especially if you plan to run him as your solo defensive option. If you're going to build him as a solo defensive option, then you're going to use defense percentage as your start. Why Are you suggesting attack percentage? This doesn't make sense. This part of the comment contradicts the attack percentage from the planisphere and the body, which is outgoing healing boost. Instead, you want defense and defense here, so that it becomes a solo defensive option. This part of the comment here totally contradicts what is shown up here. So that's why I want to say for here. Still giving him some HP percentage is advised, but the thing is that they are forgetting that defense percentage is scaling higher than HP percentage in terms of survivability department. So they totally overlook this part here. Okay, let's look at his teams. Offensive. Yep, true. I can agree with this. But it's actually better to have Ting Yun here because Ting Yun can give the energy regen instead of Bronya. But Bronya is for super offensive, but then you want Ting Yun for the extra survivability. Just in case Bronya needs to fast forward her turns, Luocha needs to charge his ultimate faster, Seele needs to kill one enemy before the team suffers. So Silver Wolf might not be the best option for totally offensive, but you also want to maximize supportive feature. So that means you want to use a Ting Yun instead of a Silver Wolf. So this is really kind of contradictive here in terms of offensive, so-called, because offensive you also need some kind of defensive mechanic in your team, and Ting Yun provides that from the energy recharge. Clara Fortress, yep, this is the team I'm using. Totally agreed. This is a god team indeed. I love this team a lot. Okay, let's look at the build guides. First, Grimro.
Yo, what is up guys? Grim here, and welcome to my Luocha guide, where we're gonna cover... Luocha heals a lot, and he heals frequently. This is
See, he also admits that Luocha heals a lot.
thanks to his passive healing, which he gets a lot of. A lot of it comes from his special talent Cycle of Life, a special life field he can cast on the field, which whenever an ally attacks an enemy, the entire party will be healed for a massive amount. He also has more automatic healing in his skill. Every 2 turns, he is able to use his skill for free whenever an ally goes low, and it'll be automatically cast. On top of all...
Okay, this is basically just the... This is just a summary of whatever Luocha has. Okay, but here is the main part of the problem. This is the main part that people screw up most.
Let's cover his sets first. Luocha has 2 options for his main sets. He can either use a 4-piece Musketeer of Wild Wheat, or...
Yes, this is true. I'm also using this, but the best slot is currently Eagle of Twilight if you're an advanced player.
a 2-piece Musketeer of Wild Wheat and a 2-piece Passerby of Wandering Cloud.
No, wrong. Luocha doesn't need his outgoing healing boost. This is totally untested. He doesn't even have the relics on his Luocha.
Both are good. The 2-piece is going to grant more healing, but the 4-piece Musketeer of Wild Wheat will grant additional speed.
Yes, I also have the speed here, so this is correct.
4-piece Musketeer of Wild Wheat myself. Next up is Planar Ornaments.
No, wrong. Totally wrong. Not Sprightly Von Wack, because Sprightly Von Wack can be totally replaced by his Echoes of Coffin.
Sets, and Luocha has 3 really good options available to him. He has a selfish one, a team-based one, and an energy recharge one. If you want to maximize Luocha's personal potential, go with Space Stealing Station.
Yes, that's right. But the problem is, Luocha has way too much attack and it's overkill. Even at 1.9k attack is still overkill. I've already proven it.
It's a ton of attack, and that attack translates to more healing and more damage. If you're interested in a more team-focused playstyle though, the Fleet of the Ageless can also be a really good option.
Yes, this is actually one of his best in slot, Fleet of the Ageless. This set allows you to give your allies attack bonus. So I've been using Fleet of the Ageless and this actually works. However, you actually want Eagle of Twilight Light and Fleet of the Ageless together. This is the most ideal. However, this guy is a little bit outdated now, so you want to have Broken Keel instead, which gives you effect rest and crit damage to all allies.
It grants the entire team of attack instead of just Luocha. Luocha, and he'll still get some benefit. It also grants him some much needed HP to tank him up a little bit. Finally, there is the Sprightly Von Wax, which gives him a good amount of speed, but also is going to give him some much needed energy recharge rate.
Like I said, Sprightly Von Wax is bad.
Or not is going to come down to what light tones you have at your disposal, and also how confident you are in hitting a 3-action rotation and how much that matters to you. If you don't mind not getting it sometimes, you might not need this, but if you do want to get it every time, you're definitely going to want to look at this. Experimental players and theory crafters may also be interested in looking at the Thief of Shooting Meteor for...
Okay, here's totally wrong. You don't want Luocha to break. The problem is that if Luocha breaks, right, you're never going to use the quantum breaks, and quantum break is so much better than an imaginary break. But then again, Luocha's main playstyle is to heal and to stay alive, not to break and do offensive detail.
Break effect, as well as Talia Kingdom of Banditry.
Totally wrong.
Luocha does have access to some pretty good breaking, and he's also the imaginary type, which is an insane breaker when it comes to break effect. Those aren't recommended, but they can be good, interesting things to look at. I personally recommend, and I'm going to run, a 4-piece Musketeer of Wildwheat, as well as the Fleet of the Ageless Planar Sphere.
Yep, agree. No, not Sprightly.
Next up is Luocha's best...
Okay, this is where he really screwed up. Outgoing healing boost. Look at this. Why the fuck is outgoing healing boost here? 20? Why is this here?
Relic main stats. Remember to get the main stats right before you start worrying about sets and substats. First and foremost, his body armor should have outgoing healing boost on it. If you can't get that though, you can grab attack in the interim, but outgoing healing is going to be best in the long term.
No. Defense. I've told you so many times, defense. It's the problem with Grimroll is that he doesn't test his builds before he puts them into pre-win. Especially for healer units.
Next up is Boots. You're absolutely going to want speed as he is a healer and a support. But if you can't get that straight away, you can
yes, correct. Speed is correct.
For his planar sphere, get attack. And if...
Okay, here he screwed up again. It's supposed to be defense percentage or HP percentage. The reason why is that Tingyun and Luocha is equal in terms of survivability, and you know how weak Tingyun is in terms of survivability. That's why his attack percentage is really bad for Luocha. He did not do the testing, I can tell.
You can also use one with some reasonable substats on it, but attack is recommended. For his linked rope, make sure to grab energy recharge rate. If you can't...
Yes, this is correct, but only at S2. Echoes of the Coffin S2, because it breaks a specific breakpoint in the game where you use 3 basic attacks and 1 ultimate, and only if the ultimate hits 3 enemies at S2. But at S1, you're not going to reach this breakpoint in time. So my suggestion is to put attack percentage instead, or a defense percentage.
In the interim, you can also use attack, but energy recharge is pivotal in terms of executing his 3-action rotation. When it comes to substats, there's only really 2 that Luocha is looking for, and that is attack and speed.
Wrong, not attack percentage. Reason why not attack percentage is because at 1.9k attack, he's already overkill at healing. You don't need the attack. You just need defense and HP, that's all. And speed. But speed comes first before HP and defense. But defense is better than HP.
Attack is going to increase his healing across the board, and you should definitely prioritize it. But speed is going to increase his ability to generate skill points, break, and also the consistency of getting his free cooldown on his heal back in action for his skill. Both of them are very important and are equally things you should look out for. When it comes to other substats you might be interested in though, after you have those as much as you can also go ahead and take a look at picking up some defensive stats like defense and HP.
Yes, that's right. You have to use HP and defense, but the problem with Grimroll is that he doesn't... He got his priorities wrong.
Effect resistance isn't needed as one of Luocha's bonus abilities grants him essential immunity to crowd control. You can also look into break effect if that's interesting to you and you want to use Luocha to break for imaginary. To sum that up, it's speed and attack equally and then some defensive stats or break effect.
This is where he went wrong again.
Next up is light tones. We're going to be covering both the proactive and reactive light tones for Luocha. First up is proactive. If you're interested in the 3-action rotation, you're going to need a total of 15% energy recharge, assuming you've already got a maxed out gold energy recharge rope. Now, with this energy recharge, you can get it from a combination of places. Let's assume you get 5% from a sprightly Von Whack, you'd need to get 10% more from your light cones.
And the problem is, Echoes of Coffin already replaces Sprightly Von Whack most of the time.
To make it simple, let me give you guys a brief overview. His signature can be used without Sprightly Von Whack to get the 3-action rotation. An S2, S3, or S4 post-op compensation in combination with Sprightly Von Whack can achieve the 3-action rotation, and an S5 post-op compensation can achieve it without Sprightly Von Whack. All other light cones you use should not use Sprightly Von Whack, as none of them can achieve the 3-action rotation without getting hit in combat. However, that's not a problem because you can position Luocha next to the tank or just hope he gets hit and then you'll be able to achieve that action rotation anyway. But you won't be able to achieve it consistently unless you do get hit. Overall, that's not a big issue and it's not going to make the character unplayable, it's just going to make him feel a little bit less smooth, but it's definitely still a very strong character and there's some pretty good games to be made by using other light cones. So if you have post-op conversation at S2+, it's a very good option for him.
And the thing is that if you have post-op conversation, like I said, you don't need to use Sprightly Von Whack because this is a total waste. It's too much energy regen. Too much energy regen on him is not good also because you need to maximize your defensive capabilities on Luocha. If Luocha cannot survive on the battlefield, you might as well not even pull for him. Because a healer needs to be tanky. He needs to survive.
S5, it's even better. It's got good base attack, and overall, it's going to be a decent
option. And post-op conversation is really bad also because it increases outgoing healing when only Luocha uses his ultimate. And guess what? His ultimate doesn't even heal. It just attacks. That's it.
Luocha's signature grants him enough energy without the Sprightly Von Whack, which is insane. Also grants him attack, but also speeds up the entire team every time he uses his ultimate. It's by far his best in slot and is incredible if you can get your hands on it. You don't need any high light cones are insane for the proactive approach and getting the energy recharge you need. And his signature is definitely best in slot for the reactive playstyle as well. But let's talk about some light cones which don't adhere to those strict energy recharge requirements and which are going to be good all around for Luocha when you're not too worried about that stuff. The first one I'd look into is...
Wrong. Again, like I said in my Luocha guide, Shared Feeling is bad because what this does is that when Luocha uses skill, which he doesn't do most of the time, the energy regeneration is happening and it's only 2 energy. You might as well go for Quid Pro Quo because there's no requirement. Every time Luocha turn activate, every time Luocha's turn is now, then all or one single ally, which is less than 50% energy, will get 8 energy at S1 or 16 at S5. So Shared Feeling is really bad and Quid Pro Quo is the way to go.
Shared Feeling. This light cone has a pretty good amount of base.
Now why Shared Feeling is also bad is because Luocha doesn't need an outgoing healing boost.
Which is really important for Luocha, but also increases outgoing healing by 10%.
This is totally wrong.
This is pretty important because Luocha has big base healing amounts, and this is going to increase it by a pretty good amount.
I use QPQ on my Luocha because I have nothing better on him and Shared Feelings on my Natasha. It's not wrong. It's not wrong. But Natasha would definitely love post-op.
In addition to that, it also grants 2 energy to the entire team at S1 and 4 at S5, and that will trigger when he uses his skill, which is important to his rotation, but also when he automatically triggers his skill, which is a neat little trick. Unfortunately, this light cone doesn't give you enough energy to achieve the 3-action rotation at this stage. The next light cone to consider is Perfect Timing. This one also has good base attack and also grants increased outgoing healing.
Okay, now, the thing is that Perfect Timing increases Effect Rest, but Effect Rest can be achieved via Broken Kill. And the thing is that you don't need this light cone at all. And also Effect Rest can come in the form of substats, so this light cone is a total waste. And again, like I said, outgoing healing is bad for Luocha.
The only catch is you need to get 30% increased effect resistance on your gear or substats in some way, shape or form. You can do this pretty easily on substats, you only need speed and attack, so it's not too difficult to get this, and it can be a pretty good option if you do. If you have higher superimposition levels though, you'll need more and more effect hit rating to hit the amount of outgoing healing that you can potentially get. Definitely a pretty good option. The last option I present to you guys
yes,
is Quid
agree. Quid Pro Quo.
Pretty good amount of attack, and whenever creature has his turn, he's going to grant a random ally 16 energy, but it can't be his...
Okay, but this is the main disagreement here.
Finally, an
Multiplication. This part here I totally disagree, because the advance forward can be achieved via Eagle of the Twilight Line, and because Luocha doesn't need his Musketeer of Wei anymore, because I've proven it that 1.9k attack, he's already so strong in his healing. So multiplication is really bad. And guess what? It's a 3-star Litecoin.
Can grant you a ridiculous amount of speed. However, because it has such a low basic attack, unfortunately, unlike other healers, Luocha can't take advantage of this one. So while it's good and you could in theory use it, it's definitely going to hurt your overall outgoing healing. So it's definitely not advised, but it is there if you need something desperately. Another honorary mention is Time Waits for No One. If you have it, it's pretty good. It's essentially better than the 3 other options I talked about, which...
Yeah, this one is actually good. Time Wait for No One is pretty okay because you've got a max HP increase, but the problem is that Luocha got outgoing healing, and outgoing healing is bad.
4-star, but because it's a 5-star, it's pretty out of reach. I wouldn't go...
Broken Q the best for Luocha now? Yes, currently he is. Okay, if you have Blade in your team, Luocha is the one to hold Broken Q. And for Fleet of the Ageless, you want to use it on other support units that are not paired with Blade. For example, Sele or something. So if Sele is your main DPS, you will definitely want to use Fleet of the Ageless. But for Blade specifically, Broken Q is good for Luocha, and that's his best in slot.
Way to pick this up for Luocha, but it is definitely usable on him nonetheless, and it does give you some good outgoing healing and has some pretty good base attack.
But okay, but then again, Time Waits for No One is bad because it's got outgoing healing, and outgoing healing is not favored, especially when Luocha has so much attack and so much outgoing healing by default already.
Something you need absolutely at all. To sum it up for you guys, Luocha's best in slot light cones are as follows. His signature is by far the best and crushes the competition. With it active, you don't need the sprightly Von Whack, and you can...
Okay, done. The relics is done here.
Welcome back to Honkai Star Rail. In today's video, we are taking a look at the way to go. When we look at light cones, his signature 5-star light cone Echoes of the Coffin is going to be great, providing him some extra attack, which is going to give you... However, if you're looking towards...
Yes, Quid Pro Quo, I agree with this. Like I said just now, Quid Pro Quo gives you the energy for any ally that is lower than 50% energy. So that is actually very strong. And one of the reasons why Quid Pro Quo is good is because it doesn't have outgoing healing boost.
Free-to-play options. The free-to-play 4-star Abundance Light Cone is fantastic. Quid Pro Quo, which is going to provide your team with some extra energy.
And guess what? At Super Imposition 5 Quid Pro Quo, you're getting 16 extra energy. And 16 extra energy is very... It's quite a lot actually, compared to the 3 energy that Luocha gets from his signature light cone.
And then we also have the 3-star option of...
Like I said, multiplication is bad.
Multiplication, which is great because every time he uses his basic attack, it will advance his action forward. And due to the way his kit works with a lot of passive healing, he should be using a lot of basic attacks, meaning this will help him generate extra skill points throughout the battle. Now that we look at relics for the 4-piece sets, there's 2 main ones that I look to, one being a Passerby of Wandering Clouds for the healing increase.
Passerby Wandering Cloud, wrong again. This guy is wrong.
And the other one being a Musketeer of Wildweight because it gives him attack, which increases his healing, and also speed, which is always nice.
But 4-piece is good because it gives you speed. Okay, Swordplay Sealer, make your Bronya faster or slower? Obviously faster, because you activate more turns for Sele. In the long run, you have a very slow Sele because you have attack percentage on your boot. So if Bronya at E1 uses her skill, she has a 50% chance of regaining 1 skill point, and that is actually very strong. And for my case, I just got an E1 on my Bronya just today, and what I find is that Swordplay Sealer kind of like benefits more from a faster Bronya. That's what I want to say.
Now you can do a 4-piece of either or a 2 and 2 if you have stats. Then when we look to the main stats on the pieces, for the body, you can look to attack, but me personally, I much prefer outgoing healing boost.
And that's where he went wrong again. Outgoing healing. See, this guy, he doesn't test his relics. He doesn't test defense percentage.
It's just going to give a really nice chunky increase to that healing that he provides. As for the feat, depending on the situation, the type of player you are, and the substats you have, you can look to either attack or speed. Then when we look at the planner ornaments, there's two main options for me. We got Fleet of the Ageless.
Yes, Fleet of the Ageless is right.
Which is great for a supportive one, increasing the damage that his allies deal with their attack increase. And then we also have Space Healing Station.
Okay, Space Healing Station. When I tested Space Healing Station, which is my current set now, I feel that Luocha's attack is not much different from what I have without a Space Healing Station, and his outgoing healing boost is pretty much the same at 1.9k attack and 3.2k attack. I felt that this is the same healing boost that Luocha gets from this. So Space Healing Station is actually bad for Luocha now.
Which is going to increase his attack further, giving him.
But for E2, Luocha is actually good because the attack boosts his shield. And the stronger the shield, the better. But the thing is, Blade doesn't like shield, so it's better for Luocha to have a broken Q instead.
A greater healing potential and a bit of extra damage. As for main stats, for the rope, energy regeneration is always a priority for me. However,
priority only if you're getting an S2 Echoes of Coffin, but attack percentage or defense percentage if you're having an S1 Light Cone. That's it.
You can also choose to opt for attack on this one, and for the sphere we're going to look towards attack percent again, because once again it's going to increase that healing capacity. Now with these recommendations, you'll notice that I never mentioned HP or defense,
and that's his biggest mistake, not mentioning HP and defense percentage. He doesn't realize that Luocha is as weak as Tingyun in terms of survivability, and this is his greatest downfall.
Ideally, you try and get those through substats, but if you are struggling for survivability, don't be afraid to drop some of the attack slots in this gear for some defense or HP. It's a bit of a balance, and there's no one right answer, but ideally you do want him to survive as well. So if you are struggling really bad for survivability, then you may want to shift him to some more defense or HP options. As we look to his traces, the additional stats he's going to gain are attack, defense, and HP. Now the attack is obviously great because we're trying to prioritize.
Done here. This is where he went wrong. All the relics is wrong.
Back with another video. So today will be CN unit analysis number 6 featuring Luocha.
Okay, the relic recommendations here, very important. This is where people get it wrong.
Recommendations. Luocha's relic recommendations actually are pretty straightforward once you really break it down, because in terms of substats, right, you really just care about two things: your attack and your speed. The rest of the substats other than attack and speed doesn't really matter that much. HP and defense are definitely good to have to make your Luocha a little bit more tankier. Crit and crit chance, I'm not going to be recommending it in this video, so that is that. And effect hit rate is useless, and effect res, like I mentioned earlier on, there's going to be a diminishing returns on Luocha, but it can still...
Where is the diminishing returns in effect res? Where is it? Luocha at 30% effect res is optimal. Where is the diminishing returns in effect res? This guy doesn't make sense.
Be helpful if you want to just increase the chances of you not getting crowd control. So with that being said, there are two paths for building Luocha, and after this explanation you can see that there really is only one path. But I'm just going to give two paths here for the moment, right? You can either build a fast Luocha with speed boots or...
Oh, okay, when you say that there's a slow Luocha, this is bad because you want to maximize the field uptime. And how do you maximize field uptime is spamming basic attack and skill. And if Luocha doesn't attack and spam skill at the faster rate, then Luocha is never going to get his ultimate on time, and he's never going to get the field as active.
Slow Luocha with attack percentage boosts, right? So what's the difference? For the fast Luocha, having a fast Luocha means our field's duration is going to be shorter, because our field's duration, it lasts 2 of Luocha's personal turn.
But come to think of it, if you have a field duration is shorter, it gives you more time to charge your uptime, charge your ultimate, and spam more skills and basic attacks in between. So having a faster Luocha means that you will be able to have field uptime more often than not. And you can also generate skill points from this. So having a slow Luocha is not recommended at all.
Right? So the faster it is when it reaches Luocha's turns, then the faster it is our field is going to go down. Right? However, it also translates to Luocha's auto E recovering faster, since this also recovers every 2 of Luocha's personal turns. Higher speed also results in more basic attack frequency, which increases our SP regeneration, as well as increasing the time we can cast our ultimates. Thereby, it can help us stack Abyss Flower much faster to have our field up again. Right? Indirectly, higher speed also translates into a faster debuff removal, because technically, if
Yep,
you speed
true,
faster,
true.
then it reaches your turn sooner, and the time it takes for you to cleanse a debuff naturally is going to be faster as well. Right? So it allows our Luocha to heal more readily, especially considering that auto E cannot be casted while he's under crowd control. Right?
And this is specifically why I made a fast Luocha instead of a slow Luocha.
So the strength for fast Luocha, there's a lot of strength honestly. There's SP gain, there's a faster ultimate charge, there's faster auto E recovery, there's faster debuff recovery, and also having a speed Luocha definitely helps you proc Fleetless much easier, right? Because you need 120 speed for the attack buff, right? The weakness is gonna be there's a lesser field uptime, right? Our field is gonna be expired sooner, as well as less burst healing from all sources, right? Because all of
Okay, wait. If you say burst healing, the thing is that burst healing only comes from Natasha's ultimate. You don't say that Luocha's burst healing is a burst, because Luocha's ultimate is an attack. It's not a burst heal.
Luocha's healing skills from his attack. So having less attack is definitely going to reduce the flat amount of healing from each instance where he heals. Right, so that's that. For slow Luocha, having a slow Luocha means that our field's duration is going to be longer, since it is based on Luocha's personal turn. Right, his heal amount as compared to speed builds will definitely be higher, since all of his heals scales off of his attack. So any allies hitting the enemy during the field will recover more HP passively. Not to mention his auto E also heals for more amounts, right? However, the heal frequency for his auto E will be reduced because it is going to be his turn slow.
And you don't want that to happen, because why? Most of the time your allies will have less than 20% effect rest in the current meta, and the thing is that you don't want to have auto heal too slow for that to happen, or even too fast. But the thing is that fast skill spam is actually good for the cleansing.
Lower, right? And there's also slower skill point regeneration.
But what I'm trying to say is that you're using a fast Luocha to get rid of the debuffs as fast as possible from your team.
And slower out recharge time. Reduced auto E frequency also results in a less debuff cleanse opportunities, since our E skill can cleanse an ally from a debuff, right? Our field recovery from Luocha is strictly for health, right? Your allies cannot be cleansed from any debuffs when hitting an enemy in Luocha's field.
Are you sure it's strictly health? There's also HP, there's also a weakness. There's also a weakened enemies from E4. There's attack buff from E1. What's he talking about? Strictly HP increase.
Also, his own debuff recovery is slower, like I mentioned just now, since it takes longer to reach his turn. So this may be an issue if an ally in the field is red and Luocha is still CC'd and he's not fast enough to cleanse himself from the CC, right? So the strength for slow Luocha point regenerators for the rest of our team. So Luocha's speed being higher means more skill points being generated for our supports, for our Sile, for our main carry, all that kind of good stuff. Right, so that's a summary for attack percentage versus speed boosts. Now to show an example, right, we're going to be doing
There we go. Here's the total mistake. We have outgoing healing boost here. Why is this even here? Holy shit. And attack percentage sphere. I mean, Luocha doesn't need the attack and outgoing healing boost.
a little bit of a healing simulation. This link, like I mentioned in the forward, is submitted by our damage calculator by Kaigen.
Oh my god.
It also has a healing portion, so I just took the liberty of doing some healing simulations for Luocha, right? So with these healing simulations, it's going to be assuming the following. We have a 4-piece Musketeer with 2-piece Fleetless, 0 substats at all, so we're going to be assuming that there is completely no substats, and the only difference is going to be our main stat. There's no other allies affecting Luocha's energy regeneration or speed or any sort of buffs, so it's going to be Luocha himself, right? Our feat is always going to be speed, as mentioned earlier, and our rope is always going to be ER, as mentioned earlier, right? So this is going to be...
Okay. Like I said just now, ER for only S2.
The differences. Our scenario 1 is going to be outgoing healing body as well as attack percentage spear.
But then this again is a simulation, so
2 is going to be attack percentage body and a HP spear.
Mhm.
And scenario 3 is going to be attack percentage body as well as an attack percentage spear. So as you can see over here, our heal is going to be the strongest with outgoing healing body and attack percentage sphere, with an E of more than 3000 and a passive heals from our field, 955 for the main target.
And this is really not needed because allies currently don't need to heal that much. They don't need to heal from like 0% to 100% health, if you know what I'm saying.
And an AoE
So outgoing healing boost and attack percentage is totally wrong.
team heal for 371, right? So for next scenario with attack percentage body and HP sphere, this is going to be our lowest.
Then here also wrong because attack percentage body, then again, the thing is that of course your heal will be lower, but the problem is, do you really need to heal for like 2000 HP, especially when you have Asta, for example, Silver Wolf, for example, who has maybe around 2500 health in total. Why do you need to heal so much?
With only 2000 for our E heals and 710 and 276 for the field heals.
Okay, no energy regen rope, then at E0 for Luocha. I mean, I'm talking about S1. At S1, you don't want an energy regen rope because you're never going to hit the energy regen points. So, for your energy regen rope at E0, it really depends on your light cone, that's it. Because E1 only gets an attack buff.
Right. And scenario 3, where we run both sphere and body on attack percentage, is going to be in the middle ground with 2.6k E heal, 800.
Even more wrong. Okay, this part I can skip. I already made my conclusion.
Enough for any unit.
Okay, let's look at the summary. Outgoing healing body, speed feet. Speed feet, yes. Outgoing healing body wrong. Attack sphere wrong. ER rope only at S2. And he totally forgot that Luocha needs to survive. He says provides the highest healing while still allowing Luocha to be fast. They totally forgot about the defensive part of Luocha. They forgot that Luocha is as weak as Ting Yun.
At 50% health, right? Because it triggers automatically at 50% health. So stacking more attack percentage on boots instead of speed is going to result in an overheal. Unless you have E2 Luocha, but we're not going to be talking about E2 Luocha. So other than that, the field healing and so most of the time you're definitely going to be running healing body instead of attack percentage body and stacking on so much attack.
Okay, so the light codes.
Going healing body instead of attack percentage body because he benefits from both the speed and most of the time. Or Luocha, he benefits
The
from
light codes just section, there was something there just now.
running.
Like I said, post op was bad in a way. Time is that time waste for no one? Yes, it is. Time waste for no one is also bad because it's got outgoing healing boost, but it's good in a way because it's got max HP and this allows Luocha to survive. But then you want defense percentage instead. So if you have quid pro quo and you should use energy regen root so I have more uptime in his ultimate. No, not necessarily. You definitely want to have a defense or an attack group depending on how much stats you have and how are your teams seen in your roster. So if imagine if you have a HP percentage rope or HP percentage sphere or body in your team, then pretty much you want to use attack percentage rope because attack percentage rope gives you a higher gives you a higher healing. That's the thing. But the thing is, energy regen rope is only good for S2. That's what I feel. And most people don't have S2 on Echoes of the Coffin, so this is really bad. And energy regen rope is pretty niche on S1 Echoes of Coffin as well as QPQ, which is quid pro quo at any level. Oh, hello.
Healing body instead of attack percentage body and stacking on so much attack. Right. So if you want Luocha to be tankier with a HP sphere as you can see over here, then you should get outgoing healing body instead of attack percentage body. Because
and he's wrong again. The thing is that Luocha already gives so much healing, so you don't need an outgoing healing body. That's the thing. Okay, video section done. Okay, let's read the review by this guy called Susho. Okay, so if you have no energy rope at E0, use attack rope with fleet, for example. Okay, E0. But then, like I said just now, energy regen rope only works at S2, Echoes of the Coffin. E0 or E1 doesn't matter, you still want to use a attack or defense rope. Because Eidolons don't matter for the rope choice. It's the S1 or S2 Echoes of the Coffin. Use attack rope with Fleet of the Ageless, but Fleet of the Ageless is only good for those attackers like Sele, Jingyuan, for example, but a broken Q will be for Blade. The new two-piece ornament set. Yeah, that's right, the broken Q. Alright, so the review. Let's read the review. The mysterious man carrying the okay. Luocha is undoubtedly exceptional. This. Okay. Here's a problem. This is one main problem of a review. Why does he say that this is technically a life steal? Where's the life steal mechanic? Where's the HP drain mechanic? It doesn't work. What is this? What kind of shit is he writing? Okay, Luocha talent operates on a stack-based system. One stack of Abyss Flower. When he gets 2 stacks, he automatically deploy a field. Yes. Any ally who launches an attack against an enemy while this field is active will heal for percentage plus a flat amount based on 3's level. Yes, correct. Luocha is also unlike the other 2 healers because his skills of attack. Yes, true. Then we have Abyss Flower field allows you to stay on the offensive without needing to worry about being convinced by cheap damage from enemies. Luocha will always win the battle of attrition with enemies, so unless literal one-shots are at imminent level, this is what happened to my Asta in my double defense Luocha relics demonstration video. My Asta was one-shot from 3000 HP to 0 HP, so this was what happened during my testing. I already made a video upload, so please check that. The lifesteal see again, mention lifesteal. What the fuck is this? What lifesteal? Provided by Abyss Flower is more than enough to keep your team top off, especially if particularly fast attackers. This is also true for ultimates, since those can be used out of turn. So long as the ultimate deals damage, it can be used to pinch some extra healing. Okay, but they forgot to realize that this ultimate is at its best at hitting 3 enemies, at a maximum of 3 enemies. The problem with this review is that they don't tell you how many enemies the ultimate should hit. And the ultimate hitting 1 enemy won't let you charge your energy regeneration fast enough. You need to hit 3 enemies with the ultimate, and this review fails to explain this. Luocha's skill is a single target heal that's similarly based on his attack plus a flat amount. Okay, they meant Luocha field is kind of like lifesteal, yes, but the problem is that it doesn't mean that if you attack an enemy and you get HP, this is considered lifesteal. No. When I am talking about lifesteal, I'm talking about something like per turn where no allies hit an enemy and the enemy just gets his HP reduced and all allies get healed without allies attacking the enemy. This is a lifesteal mechanic. But from what I see, this is not a real lifesteal mechanic. This is not like Pokemon where we have like Giga Drain or something. Okay, let's see. Luocha's skill is a single target heal that similarly heals based on attack plus a flat amount. True. If his skill is used, he regenerates 1 stack of Abyss Flower. Yep, true. What's really great about this skill is that its own passive, where if any ally falls below 50% of the max HP, Luocha will automatically use the skill on said ally out of turn and at no skill point cost. Oh, and they forgot to say that this auto heal contributes to the energy regeneration rate. So this is another problem of the review. They didn't say that the auto heal contributes to the ultimate regeneration. This additional passive is a 2-turn cooldown between users, so it won't be happening every single time, but to only have to wait 2 turns to have this passive again is absurd. And this is exactly why you should run defense percentage on your Luocha, because you don't want Luocha to heal himself. You don't want Luocha to use the auto heal on himself, because this is a waste of his skill, his auto heal. The auto heal should have gone to the allies instead of Luocha. So this is why I specifically said defense percentage on your Luocha is extremely important. With the lifesteal, see again lifesteal, what the fuck? Bro, Luocha provides from his talent. His skill passive ends up being an emergency lifeline for the uncommon situations when someone does take more damage than you expect. And from what I'm seeing here, takes more damage than you expect. Look at this build. Outgoing healing boost and attack. Of course Luocha is going to get so much damage. He's going to lose a lot of HP and the auto heal will be used on himself. This is the worst review ever. Okay, let's see. Or if there's otherwise not be enough time to lifesteal again. Now, Luocha has this on his skill because he traded for an emergency healing ultimate for pure offense. His ultimate hits all enemies on the field and remove 1 buff from all enemy hit. Yes, this is true. In addition, he gains 1 stack of Abyss Flower. True. Imaginary weakness break on the support unit in the current climate is absolutely invaluable. Kind of true, but the thing is that you have Silver Wolf. So Silver Wolf completely removes this relevancy here. And having a dispel that can hit multiple enemies at once is equally invaluable. Yup, true. Certain foes become damn near useless if they can dispel the buffs. Like Pela, she can only dispel 1 enemy at a time from the skill, yes. So yes, this is correct. Okay, yep, and 100 energy is right. Understandably, this is somewhat a rift when compared to other 2 healers. Lacking a panic button in the form of a healing ultimate can actually be quite devastating if you don't plan around its absence. And this is also particularly why I said stack defense on your Luocha, because the thing is, you don't want to use your ultimate when your Abyss Flower stacks are still like on still like, how to say, 2 stacks already when your field is active. So you don't want to use an ultimate when the field is active, and this is why defense percentage is important, so that you hold your ultimate longer and it allows Luocha to stay on the battlefield without him spending the auto heal on himself when the field is active. So yes, Luocha has a panic button in the form of skills passive, but this only works at 1 ally at a time. Even though it's an admittedly short cooldown, which is 2 turns, it's not going to be enough to survive in the late memory chaos stage. And you know why it's not enough to survive? That's because he don't have defense percentage on your stats. He's not solving the problem, he's creating the problem. As such, it's imperative to keep his talent active as much as possible to mitigate his downside. But most importantly, his downside is his survivability. He is as weak as Ting Yun, and they did not solve this problem. So you don't really need your talent if Luocha can survive. And Luocha can spend his auto heals on the allies instead of spending it on Luocha himself. So they are not solving the problem here. They also lack Luocha also lacks the more consistent hands-off healing that both Nut and Bailu have in their kits, and the aforementioned regen and evocation respectively. As extraordinarily powerful as the lifesteal field from his talent is, it's only useful if allies are actually able to attack to trigger its effects. Yep, true. But I don't like it when they say lifesteal. And that and this necessitates that they are both alive and able to act concurrently. If your team is able to survive the enemy's onslaught until the next turn, they'll all be well and they'll heal up to no time. And especially if once Luocha has his A4. Okay, but the thing is, if Luocha has his A4, Luocha doesn't need his defense percentage relics. Especially because A4 weakens the enemies. So the problem here is that he is resorting to A4 for this. Not E4, sorry, I'm mistaken, but A4. And what's A4 again? See here, what's A4? A4. Sanctified. When any enemy in the field is attacked by an ally, all allies except the attacker restore HP equal to 7% of Luocha plus 93. True. So defensive orb and defensive body, HP or defense. Okay, this is the final answer that I will provide. This is defense. Defense orb and defense body for Luocha. I've tried a HP orb for Luocha. HP orb for Luocha, it doesn't work. He needs a defense body and a HP orb, because you don't want Luocha to reach 50% of his HP. That's the thing. Because the moment Luocha hits 50% of his HP, you will realize that Luocha will spend the auto heal on himself, and this is really bad. Okay, let's see. This means that Luocha or even your other support's basic attacks can end up healing the entire party while restoring SP as well. This one bonus trace dramatically increase total healing output and raise the value of his talent to ridiculous heights. Yep, true. And I already said that the synergy between Sanctified and his talent, that's his ultimate synergy in his kit. Finally, A6 gives Luocha a passive 70% chance to resist crowd control debuffs. Yep, so that means you need to stack 30% only. 30% effect rest. Which is great news since it's almost able to use skill, lifeline, and ultimate when it's needed. Yeah, I know. Pre-win is totally messed up. What went wrong with Pre-win is that they totally forgot to account defense in Luocha's kit. Luocha, however, needs to survive, and I don't see this happening, especially without a defense percentage main start on your kit. When I made my guide, I made a guide with Luocha having an attack sphere and defense body. My very first guide. However, on my second guide, I changed it to defense body and defense sphere. So that means Luocha won't hit 50% of his health most of the time, and therefore his auto heal goes to other allies instead. So you're optimizing the way how the auto heal works. This is very important. Yeah, thanks for watching this. So this is pretty much why I really disagree with I disagree with Pre-win a lot. So I already have this guide here with Luocha with only 2 defense relics. You can see in the thumbnail that Luocha is having only 2 relics, which is defense and defense. So please watch this video. There's a lot to learn in this video. Please watch it. I already proven it already. Luocha Eidolons are unnecessary for him to excel as a healer. Yeah, it's true. At E0, Luocha is very strong already. It's very true. But provide benefits that turn him into a healer support hybrid, able to increase allies attack by 20% by E1. Yes, I like this a lot, and there's no downside to this. And with E1, you get a healing increase also, because attack increased by 20% for Luocha also. Gaining bonus healing with a shield with E2. And however, E2 here is not totally good, because E2 is bad for Blade. Blade doesn't like shields. Blade wants to get hit, and every time when he gets hit, he wants his health being reduced. So this is really bad for Blade in a way, but for boss DPS, it's actually good. Because, like, you know, the ape in MOC 08, Memory of Chaos 08, he does a lot of damage. So, E2 can help mitigate the amount of damage Blade takes in a way. Weakening enemies with E4. And with E4, you don't need to run defensive relics at all since you're weakening enemies. And reducing enemies all type rest. Yep, this is right. This is right. This is probably his best Eidolon in the game. Okay, yep. Okay, now let's look at the cons first. Value is lower in the early game. What is this nonsense? Luocha at early game, right, he's dominating. You don't need Natasha at all. You just put Luocha in your team, that's it. And then just build your first 4 teammates. Luocha plus maybe Tan Heng, Asta, and something else. So when this con is mentioned, I totally disagree. Doesn't have an on-demand panic heal. Yup, true. His on-demand panic heal is kind of like his auto heal, and you need to learn how to optimize this properly. Talent is only useful if the team can attack in time. True, very true. And that's why, to maximize the talent, you want a speed Luocha. Attack scaling means that he will be less durable than other 2 healers, and that is why I told you to put defense percentage on your body and your sphere. This is the con that can be totally solved free of charge by using defense percentage relics. Okay, excellent healing output that's made easy to maintain. Yep, true. AoE dispel and ultimate, true. Contributes meaningful toughness damage. Kind of. But Silver Wolf makes this totally irrelevant. Virtually immune to crowd control. Yep, quite true. Fantastic base stats. Disagree. Defense. His defense is lacking. And what makes Luocha really terrible is that his defense is lacking and he takes so much damage. Unlikely to get power crack anytime soon. Yup, true. And then we have all the skills here, and pretty much everything is pretty factual here. Nothing much. Okay, so what went wrong with this build is that the outgoing healing boost on his body is a total flaw. They didn't check this. And attack sphere is totally wrong. They need defense and defense. That's much. And energy regen rate only for S2 Echoes of the Coffin. Attack rope for only S1 Echoes of the Coffin. But S2 you want energy regen rate. That's it. Speed. Yes, totally agree, speed. So this is totally wrong here. Alright. That's the Luocha. That's pretty much Luocha guide from me again, and also the poorly written Luocha guide on crit win. And what I see is that from the tier list, I also disagree with the tier list. Blade, right, should be at S+. Tingyun is at S+. I kind of agree with this here. Trailblazer Fire is not A, it's actually S. Because she allows pseudo defense via basic attack and she can mitigate a lot of damage from that. Even without using skill, she's already so strong. She's just there to... She's just sitting on the field doing basic attack, and then she gets so much shields for everyone. So, Trailblazer Fire is not A, it's actually S. Clara, still S. Blade is S+, Clara is S. And Jingyuan at A, I kind of agree at this point because Jingyuan feels that without his E4, it feels really terrible. But they're ranking it at E0, so I kind of agree with this. But Clara is S tier because she doesn't need weakness break. You can just put her on any team, she will just deal damage here and there. All you need is just one healer like Natasha and Luocha, then good enough already. And pretty much it. And March 7 is supposed to be S because she can redirect aggro. So March 7 at A is totally disagreeable. But the most disagreeable one here is Tingyun at S and not S+. This is why I really disagree. Okay, but back to the Luocha again, we have outgoing healing boost is wrong, attack is wrong, Musketeer of Wildweed should be the best in slot, but Eagle of Twilight line was totally omitted, and they did not see this coming. But they should put Eagle of Twilight here because it's actually good. Luocha fast forwards his actions and therefore he can heal faster. That's why Eagle of Twilight line was actually good. I have an Eagle of Twilight Luocha demonstration somewhere around here. You go check my videos later, you see a Eagle of Twilight Luocha. There's also a passerby of Wandering Cloud here, which is totally wrong. So this is totally wrong. Totally wrong. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say for the Luocha guide. I hope that you open your eyes and kind of think on how to build Luocha again, especially when Luocha doesn't really need all that outgoing healing boost and whatnot. Yeah, so I kind of like to clarify that with the video I uploaded here, which is a Luocha with only 2 defense relics, Memory of Chaos 10. So please watch this. This is actually very important. It makes you realize why Luocha needs defense percentage more than any other start in the game. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the stream. I hope it hasn't taken too much of your time. I hope you learned something from this. Pretty much. So cheers.